Srilekha.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm great. I'm very excited to host the show with you as the first episode of Quick Brain. Thank you so much for taking it over.
Welcome, Srilekha. I'm also equally excited to be here, to be a part of this new.
Thank you.
Okay, should I start, Srilekha?
Yes, Vismaya, you can start.
Okay, so hello. Today we are going to talk about micro habits, the basic 1% rule for a lifelong improvement. Okay, now the show that we are in is Quick Brain. The topic that we are going to talk about is micro habits, that is small habits or small actions, big results. The host today is Vismaya, and we will be having a 15 minutes conversation on micro habits and how it can help us on a lifelong improvement, how it can take us on a lifelong improvement journey. So, hi and welcome to Learning Unleashed, the podcast for professionals on a mission to master the future of work. I'm your host, and today we are diving into a crucial topic, that is developing a learning mindset at the age of AI. In a world that's evolving faster than ever, the ability to learn, unlearn, relearn is the most valuable asset. Do you agree with me, Srilekha?
Yes, Vismaya, 100% agree.
Okay, so good evening and welcome to Quick Brain show, our show on DC Live. Where we care, we share, and we are on air. I'm your host Vismaya, and today we will be diving into some of the incredibly simple yet absolutely powerful concepts called micro habits, the 1% changes that create extraordinary results. Now let's talk about the power of 1%. Now, I'm sure most success comes from massive effort. Okay, we often think that success comes from a massive effort, but studies show that small habits, doing it repeatedly, it outperforms all big actions. Okay, it outperforms all inconsistent actions. We often assume that success is a result of huge and dramatic efforts, long hours, staying awake, working on the data continuously, major sacrifices in personal life, and big breakthroughs. But research in psychology and behavioral science says that, the truth is slightly different. Small, sustainable habit that is practiced every single day will take us far. Will have a greater impact on our lives over time than occasional bursts of effort. Okay, instead of putting effort, once in a while, we do it consistently every day for a short time. This will give us continuous and consistent results. Now, why does this happen? This happens because small habits are easier to start, isn't it, Srilekha?
Yes, but the only thing is consistency.
Yes,
yeah, but
easier to
yes.
start, easier to maintain, easier to build upon. So when you repeat this tiny action daily, what happens is it compounds just like money. Just like how money attracts interest. Now, over the weeks, over the months, we see that these small behaviors accumulate into significant process or progress, often without feeling overwhelmed. Now, big inconsistent actions tend to burn us out. We always plan, like, for example, sometimes what happens is we plan that, we'll start eating healthy from today. Okay, this could be a big step. What we could start with is maybe I'll drink a glass of water today, and a couple of days later make it 2 glasses, and then again add a couple of days, and then add 2 more glasses of water. So what happens is this micro habit that you are building, it motivates you naturally. Okay, and it intensifies every day. Now, in contrast, what happens is the small habits rely on consistency and not the willpower. Just that small push is enough. They seamlessly blend into your daily routines. Okay, just drinking a glass of water, it can happen anytime, right? And you can gradually reshape your identity based on that. This is coming back to the glass of water. Gradually increase the amount of water that you're consuming. Okay, now I'm someone who learns every day. I'm someone who takes care of things every day. So what I do is I work only on my 1% at a time. Sometimes I find people laughing around me saying that, is this all you can? But it's going, okay? So the real secret to long-term success isn't intensity, it is the consistency, the small step, the first baby step. Now repeat it regularly, this creates a powerful results that are big, sporadic, and sporadic efforts, rarely achieve, sort of. Now, for example, if you improve by 1% every day, what happens by the end of this year? It becomes 37 times better in a year. Now, so small, doing a small effort, putting a small effort, taking a small step, that doesn't make you weak. It makes you more sustainable. Now, why should we focus on micro habits? Because there are three reasons. Micro habits succeed when big goals fail. Now, what do they require? Big goals will require willpower, whereas small micro habits do not require willpower. Small habits require almost no willpower because they are designed to be simple, quick, easy to begin. Willpower is a very limited resource where we rely on it to make big changes. We often struggle, especially it gets stressful, or we have our own tiring days. But when a habit is tiny, like reading one page on a given day, or take a 5-minute walk, or even learn one module, it doesn't feel intimidating or overwhelming. So this is what Detach Gold has been practicing, where we promote micro learning little bit every day, so that by the end of the 48th session you will have your foundation Detach foundation course completed, covered completely. Because the effort is small, and what happens is your mind doesn't resist. There is no internal negotiation that you're doing. Panalama, Vendama, should I not? Over the time, what happens is the small actions become automatic. Shifting from something that you force yourself to like how you force yourself to move out of the bed every day morning. Now, once a habit becomes automatic, it does not require willpower at all. Okay, this creates a powerful cycle. Tiny action, easy to repeat, becomes a routine, the results compound, and your identity completely strengthened. Now, so the real magic of small habit is not just they are easy, it's also because they bypass biggest barriers to progress. The need for consistent willpower also. Now, through simplicity and repetition, they quietly build a foundation for major long-term success and your success goals. The second thing that you need to understand is they break the fear of starting. Now, when your goal is big, you have a fear. Will I be successful here? But when your goal is small, when your habit is small in size, what happens is you don't have the fear that you're going to lose there. Small habits break the fear of starting because they reduce the task size. It feels makes you feel completely manageable. Yeah, I can manage this. Most of the time, what holds us back in the task itself is the mental weight of beginning the task. And imagine the effort required, the time that it might take, or possibly of failing. Now, this creates a hesitation and avoidance. But when the first step is tiny, the small step, it's like, spending 2 minutes reviewing the content, writing one sentence, or doing a single, that is not so difficult. Now, the barrier becomes low, that mind no longer sees this as threatening or exhausting. This gentle entry point builds confidence, removes anxiety associated with starting something new. Once you begin, the momentum gradually grows, naturally grows. A small start often leads to a big flow. 1 minute can become 5, as you practice it every day. One page can become a chapter. One module can become a productive study session. By making this beginning easy, Small habits will eliminate the psychological resistance that stops people from starting something more significant. They shift your mindsets from this is hard, this is doable, between this is hard to this doable. Now, helping you start consistently and ultimately will lead you to success. There is consistency involved too. Now, the third thing is they are impossible to fail. A small habit never fail. Small habits are impossible to fail because they are intentionally designed in such a way that they are simple, achievable, and skipping them feels harder than completing them. Now, when a habit is tiny, like reading one paragraph and completing a micro task or practicing it just for 2 minutes, it removes pressure and perfectionism. There's no overwhelming expectation or high standards to be met, or no fear of failing short because the goal is small. You always will see yourself accomplishing it even in your busiest day, or the most stressful day, or the most motivated days, or the least motivated days. Now, this consistency creates a sense of success every single day. Instead of feeling guilty for not doing enough, you will feel encouraged by steady progress. Now, this builds confidence, reinforces the belief that you can stay committed. Over the time, these small wins will create a powerful identity shift. You stop seeing yourself as a person who procrastinates and start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. That's why all small habits that are practically failure proof. They are very simple, flexible, within reach, and ensuring the progress continues even when life gets tougher. For example, I will read 30 minutes. Start with, I will read one page. Instead of I will walk for 5 kilometers a day, start with I will walk for 3 minutes a day. Once you start, your brain will naturally help you, push you, and help you get into the momentum effect. Now let's talk about the micro framework. M means make it tiny. Choose the action so small that it feels very silly. Something like that. So choose an action so small it feels almost silly, because that is exactly what makes it powerful. The first step is tiny, so tiny that it takes less than a minute and requires no effort. You remove every excuse your mind can create. There is no line that says I'm too tired. No, I don't want to do it. I don't have the time. I'll start it tomorrow. No. The task becomes easy, lightweight, and starting to feel effortless. Tiny actions bypass resistance. Instead of aiming to read the whole chapter, you can target a single paragraph. Instead of planning 30 minutes workout, you can start with 2 minutes of stretching. Instead of trying to finish the entire module, you commit to watching first slide. These micro steps will get you moving. And once you're ready, in motion and momentum, the things will naturally take over. Now, the goal isn't to stay tiny forever. It is to start tiny so that you can stay consistent. Tiny habits lay foundation for bigger actions, but without the pressure or fear that usually comes along with ambitious goals. When you make it a tiny habit, you make it doable, repeatable, sustainable, and you can see how the real change begins. Now let's start talking about I. In the word micro, we are going to talk about I. I stands to integrating things into your routine. Now tie something that you are already doing. For example, let's say you brush your teeth for 10 minutes. Now we all know practically how much of time we waste with our toothbrush and the paste on it. Now let's say you decided that you will not spend more than a minute on brushing. Now, after brushing, you also plan that you will go in for a 1 minute meditation. You'll reduce your brushing time and also do 1 minute meditation. Now, tie this new habit to something. Here, brushing your teeth in less than a minute and tying it to your meditation. So what did you do? You integrated your routine. Brushing your teeth is your routine, and you tied it up with meditation. Now tie new habit to something that you already do it every single day. Just give a deep thought into it. There must be something that you can tie it along with your habit. Now, this makes habit effortless, and it helps you remember, because it comes with the part after brushing. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go in for a 1-minute meditation. Now, our brain loves routine. They run on autopilot mode always by attaching something tiny new habit to something that you have already established. Okay, now this can be a great and a natural trigger. After brushing your teeth, meditate for a minute. After pouring your morning coffee, read one paragraph. After logging in at work, review one module per day. Now, this anchor moment acts like a reminder. It helps you build your day. You don't need alarms, willpower, motivation, or anything. The existing routine does this work for you. It will remind you. After brushing, what did you promise? You promised to meditate for a minute. Now, when your new habit like piggybacks on an old one, or it becomes a consistent, predictable, automatic habit, over the time, you will see that this strengthens the habit of looping, making your behavior the part of your identity. You're no longer trying to fit in. It simply becomes what you want to do next. Now, let's talk about C. We completed M, I, C. The C part of your micro. C means celebrate immediately. Now, when you accomplish something, the tiniest part of your habit, take a moment and celebrate it right away. What we do, we fail to appreciate ourselves or celebrate the micro things that we have done. So this isn't about a huge reward or buying something very expensive for yourself. This could be just the pump, the push, the first push, a smile, or pat on your own back. Now this talks about immediacy. Do it immediately. Once you have achieved it, do it to yourself. Now, let me tell you why this works. This rewires your brain. When you celebrate yourself, your achievement instantly, what happens is your brain associates the action with the positive feeling. This triggers the release of dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter, making your brain more likely to repeat the behavior. You got yourself appreciated. Okay, now so let me do it again. So this gives you a reinforcement, reinforces consistency. Small wins acknowledged immediately create a positive feedback loop. Now, even tiny progress feels satisfying, which keeps you motivated day after day. Now, make habits enjoyable. For example, most habits fail because you feel like, I have to do it. That is where you fail. By celebrating your small wins, extraordinary actions into a small victory, making them habit itself is more appealing. Now, breaks the perfection barrier. How many of us look at we want to do something very perfectly. We don't want to hear negative comments at all. We don't even want anyone to suggest a small correction in the work that we have done, because we all think that we are perfectionists. Now, this often, the micro habits that you're doing here, follow up that you're doing here, this breaks that barrier. Now, when you celebrate, your small victory, it often leads to a different version of who you are. You don't tend to procrastinate, or you don't get disappointed. Immediate celebration values progress over perfection. Now, every step here also counts. Now, for example, after doing one push-up, you can appreciate yourself. You can say, yay, I did it. Now, after writing a single paragraph in a book, take a moment, smile or stretch, and again you can say to yourself, yeah, I did it. Now, even these tiny celebrations, they train your brain to love the process, not just the outcome. Now, if you want, I can give you a short practical formula, which is called as CATI. Make a tiny, integrate, celebrate, immediate. Okay, now with like it's like the tiny integration that you're doing, you're celebrating it immediately. So you can also call it as CATI. All right. Okay, the last one, the not the last one, the second last one. Okay, micro. We covered C. Now we are going to talk about R. R says reduce the resistance. Okay, the idea behind this principle is that habits don't fail because we lack motivation. They only fail because of small obstacles that get into our way. By reducing friction, you can make it almost effortless to start your habit. Now, the key items that you need to keep in your mind here is preparation is the power. The less you think or move to start the habit, the more likely you are going to do it. Your environment can either be your ally or your enemy. Small tweaks, small adjustments here and there. Remove friction for good habits. Make it desirable. Now, for example, lay out existing clothes and shoes the night before, suppose next day morning you have to go to office. Choose the clothes that you want to wear the next day. Polish your shoes, keep them aside. Keep your book or the journal just near the pillow so that you can read or write without hunting for it. Sometimes when you feel like writing or reading, you go hunt the book, yeah, the feeling is gone. Fill a bottle full of water, keep it right next to you. This encourages you hydration. Okay, so you can remove the friction. The friction is the moment you try to search for it, the desire, the want, that is gone. Now, let me tell you, frictions are like the bad habits. The opposite works for stopping it. Okay, the moment you start searching for the book, water bottle, whatever it is, it indirectly gives you a message, okay, I'm done, I'm not going to do it. Now, for example, you put the junk food in the cupboard. Okay, cupboard is far away. Or uninstall all apps that are distracting from your phone. Now, if your addiction is with the doom scrolling, to avoid that, what you do? Uninstall the app. Simple. Now, there are triggers and cues. Now, when you have your environment signals, when you are sitting alone in your room, the natural thing that you would do is get into the doom scrolling. Now, this, puts you in some kind of stress. Now, when you have a visible water bottle in front of you, you have your gym shoes in front of you, what happens is this naturally acts like a trigger. Now, this signals your brain, okay, this is what you need to be doing next. The last item in micro, the word micro, what are we going to talk here about? The principle here is very simple but powerful. What gets measured gets maintained. Okay, by keeping a track of your progress. Okay, every tiny wins, you reinforce your habits and make them stick to it. Now, some of the key items that you need to keep things in mind is visual proof. Now, let's say you have a board in front of you, or where you have decided or mapped what you're going to do every day. Keep a check mark or a dot or a calendar where you're making note of all these things. By doing this, what happens is your brain is naturally looking into that and registering your progress. Now, this is a visual cue, the sense of achievement. The moment you look into your calendar, look into your whiteboard, blackboard, your pin board, whatever it is, yes, that will make you want to continue. Now, consistency over perfection. Yes, this is what we were talking about, right? Tracking what you're doing regularly. Not necessary that you should be a perfectionist there. Every small tick mark on your diary, on your calendar, on your whiteboard, on your blackboard marks consistency. Okay, it doesn't focus on being perfect. Next is psychological momentum. Okay, when you see continuous tick marks on your calendar, it tells you, oh, don't break that chain. Go on, move on. So it's a natural trigger that helps you move ahead. Now, awareness and reflection. By observing your wins, what happens is you succeed naturally. Which habits are easier to stick with? You will know where exactly you struggle. Okay, fuel for celebration. Now, each tick mark, check mark becomes an excuse to immediately celebrate yourself. reinforcing the habit loop. Now, for example, put a calendar on the wall, mark each day you meditate, mark each day you read, mark each day you exercised. Now, you use habit tracking app, right? Follow those, okay? Like drinking 8 glasses of water, 5 push-ups every day. Every week can increase your push-ups by another 5 in number. Even a simple journal tick, writing a small paragraph every day, something, whatever's there in your mind. Now, the bottom line here is observing your wins invisibly helps you progress. Progress towards victories. It transforms your habits from abstract intentions to tangible, motivating evidence. There are so many other things that you can do. 1 English word a day, 5 minutes to data cleanup, and 1 paragraph before sleeping, 10 things on your desk that remind you of stretching your body, and things like that. Okay, so now as we come to the end of this session, let me also give you a closing thought. Small habits compound. Consistency beats intensity. Tiny steps today become a giant leap tomorrow. I hope the session was interesting for you guys. That's all for today's Quick Brain session. I'm your host, Vismaya. Join me again on next Thursday, 5:30 p.m. for yet another simple concept that leads to extraordinary growth. Remember, small action, big results, and we care, we share, and we are on air.
Thank you, Vismaya. That was really wonderful. I mean, whatever you have said, but still people know about everything. We know all these things will take us to one place at the end of the day. So, but still, if people around us, if they keep telling us in a different sense, or they have sensed that, or they have felt that victory, right, with the small steps, when they share, and then it may be anything, like as you said, it can be a drinking of water or any small habits. Maybe as we are very close to the 2026, I think people who are listening to it, if you have anything big rather than planning big, as Rasmia said, start with the small step. Definitely at the end of 2026, we'll reach what we are desiring. Thanks,
Sure.
Vismaya. It was
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Good day. So stay tuned to DC Live. We care, we share, and we are on air.